Hello, Giants fans, and welcome to the Big Blue View YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ed Valentine of Big Blue View. Special treat for you guys today. I'm joined by former Giants great defensive end Leonard Marshall, I'm sure one of your favorite Giants legends. So, Leonard, thank you very very much for a little bit of your time.
Hey Ed, thanks for having me, man. I tell you, I'm always honored to talk to our fans and the football community. So, thank you very much.
I got to ask you this really, really, really important question. Did you play some softball the other night?
I was going to go Ed, and I kind of didn't feel well.
Mm-hmm.
I had a book signing with Gary Myers on Thursday night, and there must have been about 80 to 100 people there,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I might have picked up a little something
Mm-hmm.
from that event. So I didn't make the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
Have
I
you?
wanted.
Yep. Have you done that? Have you done that softball game before?
I've never done that softball game.
No.
The only premise for me going was to support Joe Ruback and to help Gary Myers sell a few books.
Yeah, Gary. Gary's selling those books, and you and Harry and a lot of the other former Giants I know are helping him out. You know, they're his books, but he's not the guy anybody wants to see at those book signings. Leonard, let's be real.
You're right on that. I think they want to see the players, and talk to the players, and hear the crazy stories, and the locker room antics and all that other crap that goes along with being a big kid in a man's game.
And you guys, just speaking of Gary's book, lot of great stories from Gary's book about you guys, about that team. A lot of good stories about about football, and a lot of stuff about life as well. I know I thoroughly enjoyed the book, and I love the fact that you guys are helping him with it so much.
Yeah, well, the beauty of it is, since he joined the organization, which he joined at the end of my career with the Giants, um, I've tried my best to be. I've always been a guy that's been forthright with the press and the media. Um, I understood that they had the power to pen and the ability to articulate my message to my fans and the fans at large that support the New York Giants. So I was always the guy that was interested in speaking with them, which is the reason why I had no issue, whether I played good, bad, or indifferent in the course of a game. Um, I made sure I owned up to it,
You,
regardless. And I think for the most part, the guys did one thing that I love. They respected my effort. They gave it praise when needed and demanded more when they should.
but I was gonna say, did I hear you say there were games you didn't play great in?
Well, I mean, games were in the eyesight of Bill Parcells. In my eyesight, uh, uh, I think I graded above 90 in every game I played as a Giant.
Yeah, in the eyes of Bill Lowe, things might have been different. So, but
Yeah, I used to get stories like Lawrence. I would get those stories from Parcells, like, last week, we played the Redskins, and I don't think you got a sniff of Joe Theismann's butt. He goes, if I'm looking at this correctly, you had 5 tackles. I think you shared a sack with Lawrence, but I don't know that guy. I know that other guy. That 9 tackle, 2.5 sack, destroyed a backfield. I know that dude.
Mhm.
When's that dude gonna come back around? So I used to
that
get that from him often.
but that was I didn't cover the Giants in the Parcells days, but that was the thing that was always said about Coach Parcells, was that with you guys, he knew which buttons to push.
Oh, there's no question about it. There's no question about it. And in some cases, he knew us better than we knew ourselves.
Yeah, interesting. And you guys, I'm curious. I have had the opportunity. I know Carl Banks, I know Carl a little bit because I see Carl at some of the games, and he and I chat a little bit.
Great guy, great mate.
I'm curious. I was going to ask, you have done a lot, just by being Leonard Marshall away from the game. You have done a lot in the business field, in philanthropy, in trying to reach out and use your name and all of that to help people. Just tell me about some of the for you some of your favorite things that you've done, maybe some of your favorite causes, that you've been able to help just by being who you are.
So in 1984, I got involved with the Leukemia Society of America, and I met a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Worth, who absolutely changed my life. He negotiated my second contract with the Giants, and he partially negotiated my third contract with the Giants. And Mr. Worth is a Westchester guy who moved to Greenwich and who opened my eyes to the New York metropolitan area and the opportunities that could be present if I became a marquee player. So he said to me, Leonard, you put a chip on your shoulder, you go out there and you become this guy. I promise you the doors and the opportunities to be Leonard Marshall and to grow in perpetuity over the years that you play football will be enormous. I adopted that, and between him and another gentleman by the name of Frank Cicero, Dr. Frank Cicero, those two guys played a key role in my development. And today I am so humbled and so honored to call them my friends. I haven't seen Frank in a while. I haven't spoke to Ken in about six months or so, but these are men that have been connected to me for years. They taught me humility early on and to use my brand to change lives and to change the course of people's lives. And Leonard, as a result of that, you're going to feel good about who you're becoming. So I got involved in the Leukemia Society. Some of the things I remember I did, I jumped in vats of Jell-O to raise money for families and those that were suffering with leukemia. I partnered up with the late Gary Carter, catcher from the New York Mets, to raise money for leukemia. Gary's mother was a recovering cancer patient who ended up passing. I believe Gary ended up passing from leukemia down in Florida. I've done so many things that I don't know where to start, but I can tell you this, that over the years, everything I've done has been extremely fulfilling. I think one of the things now that brings tears and joy to my heart all at the same time is I'm involved with a company called Pike TX. And Pike TX has a transdermal patch that will revolutionize the way people deal and treat Parkinson's. We have a subliminal patch that we can infuse with THC and byproduct and medication to prevent tremors in Parkinson patients. We're the first company of this kind, and it's fully FDA approved what we do. So I'm looking forward to the next steps in the journey of Pike and as a board member and how we will continue to revolutionize the way we treat Parkinson's, ALS, dementia, and other forms of traumatic brain injury with both the transdermal patch and our medication.
I want to commend you for all of that and for all of the causes and all of the people that you've helped. I have a great appreciation for people who use their names and use their brands and use their successes to reach out and help other people. So I really wanted to commend you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And with that said, I want to ask you, you were forthright in Gary's book, as were a lot of your former teammates. about about your own, health struggles and things that you've dealt
Right.
with,
Right.
post playing days, and it's a simple question, really. How are you? How you doing?
Ed, I'll be 63 this year. I just dropped 81 pounds.
Wow.
Uh, Feel amazing. Thanks to my wife and the folks around me. Um, my wife is 9 years younger than me, so she keeps me chasing her, pal. Uh, Fun.
Oh, there
We
you go.
and we've got another one on the way.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Um, we live in Central Jersey, which is cool.
Hmm.
Uh, so I don't get recognized much because
I,
I'm in East, which
I,
I
I
love.
was I was gonna say, you drop 81 pounds. Does anybody recognize you when you're out in the store anymore?
Right. I'm fading away, and
Jeez.
I'm loving life. I'm involved with Rockefeller Capital Management
Hmm.
as an outside advisor, and I work with a team of guys.
Hmm.
We're trying to revolutionize the way young people deal with NIL and legacy wealth, and teach them, financial literacy at the same time. So I'm doing things that I enjoy and everything else. So my cognitive issues have improved because of both supplements and medication. And along the way, I've met some great companies. Uh, I've come across some great products. Um, One of them that's improved my brain health is nattokinase, which is a natural supplement. Um, and there are a few others um,
Hmm.
that I also use, and they've been extremely unique in the process because they not only improved my cognitive health, they made me feel better.
Nice.
Um, to the point where now I just started stem cell treatment, and I'm loving it. My friend uh, Boris out of Staten Island has introduced me to a whole new another world of
Hmm.
medication that's going to rejuvenate my body and hopefully help me live till I'm 90 years old.
There you go. I hope I'm right there with you, because I'm 63 as well. So, but
Oh wow,
yeah. So I'm right there with you. I'm hoping to hang in there for quite a while myself. So, but
that's good, bud.
you've been forthright about CTE and Parkinson's and all of that, and it's
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's awesome to hear, that you're doing well, and I know, like you said, like we said, some of your teammates have had their own struggles, and I find it interesting that this many years later, that you guys in so many ways are still a team, per se, and are
uh,
still, a group of guys that are willing to, to go to bat and to help each other the way that you guys are. And maybe championships do that.
yeah. I guess so. I mean, just this morning and last night we were teasing each other on a text. There's a thread that has like 36 of us on it, and it's all members of the 86 and 90 team. And it's Everson Walls, it's Steve Diassi, it's Sean Landetta, it's Harry Carson, it's Lawrence Taylor, it's Otis Anderson, it's George Martin, it's Curtis McGriff, it's a whole bunch of guys, and we just rank on each other and talk about things and post pictures of each other from back in the day, and we just have a lot of fun with it, and I love it because of the brotherhood, and that will never fade here.
Yeah, that's really cool. I wanted to ask you, this is the Giants are celebrating their 100th season as an NFL team. And first of all, I got to ask, have you seen the throwbacks, and what do you think of the throwback jerseys?
I've seen the throwback jerseys. It looks like something right out of the XFL or the UFL. But I've seen the jerseys. I'm gonna reserve my comment for now. The helmet looks like the red, white, and blue version of the Michigan Wolverines.
Mhm.
That's what the helmet looks like.
Mhm.
I got to get my hands on one of them, by the way. somehow. I don't know if I'm my friend
Oh,
and teammate.
you've got connections. I'm sure you can get one if
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
want
get
one.
my teammate Carl Banks to reel one of them off for me. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to watch this season. I think it's going to be a good season for the Giants. I think the 100-year anniversary is going to be interesting because there have been some 5,000 players that have worn that uniform. And from what I hear, they're going to honor 100 players um, the first weekend in September. So um, I'm looking forward to actually seeing that list of people, that list of players.
If I was you, I would keep that weekend open, Leonard. I would keep
Yeah, I
that
think I'm
weekend
going to keep
open
that.
because you're probably on that list.
I think I'm going to keep that weekend open. Something tells me I should.
Yeah. Are you guys at this point? Do you guys have any official role in this 100th season celebration? Any events that you know that you guys, you personally or your teammates, are involved in at this point?
It's been a hush hush thing, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
They have not told us anything about it. All
Mm-hmm.
I know is there is going to be a huge celebration, and that's the extent of it as far as I know.
But
I don't know what's involved, what's been planned, what's on the slate, entertainment wise, whatever. I don't know anything.
but
I'm
like
totally in the dark.
there you go. Well, so am I at this point. I would highly recommend you keeping that weekend open.
I will, man. I will.
Hey,
I'm
um,
looking forward to you because I love your personality.
Hey, we'll I'll make sure we say hello. Make whenever you're around. Hey, and I wanted to ask you, I happened to be there. I don't remember if it was mini camp or what it was when you and Joe Morris and the guys were there and they told you guys, and they announced, John Mara came out and announced that you guys were being inducted into the franchise's Ring of Honor. Well, that was. Do you remember if that was a mini camp? I mean, and I'm just curious. Um, you know, did you have any inkling that was coming, and how cool was that for you?
It was extremely cool. It was actually training camp that they did it, and I went down for practice. I didn't even take my wife, which normally she likes to go to that type of stuff. So I typically would drag her along with me and go down there. I went down there unassuming. I walk in the door and I see Otis, I see Joe, I see Rodney, and then someone pulled my hand and said, "You know what's going on here today?" I said, "No, I have no idea what's going on." They said, "Well, you're about to get the surprise of your life." I said, "Okay, I like surprises, so let me in on it. Am I meeting Brian Dable, or what's up?" And so the next thing you know, they drag us on the field and they tell us, you know, um, Mr. Mara has something he wants to share with the guys. So that's when I found out.
They did a good job. They did a good job keeping the secret.
Yes, they did a great job.
Yeah,
They did a great job.
but I assume that was, especially, with Joe and Rodney and guys you played with. I'm sure that was a big thrill for you to get that honor.
Oh, it was a big deal. I mean, it was always my thing, Ed, to hopefully one day, play 10 years, finish 1, 2, 3 in quarterback sacks in the history of the organization, and to one day let my grandson see my name in that stadium.
Mm-hmm. Wow, nice, and he does, and that's
Yeah.
awesome, and I actually love the fact that you're emotional about it, and that it means that much to you.
It
So,
means that much. It would mean even more the day I get to Canton and I join these guys. This is my favorite picture, Ed.
mm-hmm,
I call that picture the three-legged stool.
mm-hmm.
And it's the Mount Rushmore of the New York Giants. to me
Mm-hmm.
and what we stood for as players,
Mm-hmm.
and the way we represented ourselves as men.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm extremely proud of that.
Mm-hmm. And I know that the Hall of Fame would mean a lot to you. Um,
It would.
and a lot of guys, I know a lot of guys who are, like Carl, for example, um, is probably a Hall of Fame talent, probably has a Hall of Fame resume, hasn't gotten that honor. Um, a lot of guys try to downplay it. A lot of guys say, if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to campaign for it. You've been pretty vocal that you would like that honor. There's even a Facebook page about, Leonard Marshall. Um, I don't remember what the title of it is. I was actually looking at it earlier today, but there's a Facebook page promoting your candidacy for the Hall of Fame.
Oh wow.
Um, just, you know, in addition to the Ring of Honor, is that just something that because of your teammates, or is it because of your family, that you would really love that honor? Like I
I,
said, I know
I
you've been upfront about how much it would mean.
yes, I want this for everyone involved,
Mm-hmm.
in every facet of my life.
Mm-hmm.
My family, my teammates, my coaches, um, all the men that touched my life as a boy,
Mm-hmm.
and I represented in terms of their leadership. I mean, I had a conversation this morning over email with Bill Belichick this morning. Um, he ensured me that I would get his endorsement, um, and, and that meant a hell of a lot to me because um, this guy helped me become who I became in that giant uniform, and under his guidance and leadership. So, guys like Al Groh and Romeo Crennel and Bill Parcells and Pete Jenkins and Jerry Stovall and all the way down to William Coit, who taught me as a 10, 11, 12-year-old boy the game of football and how to really get in a three-point stance. To Wallace Francis, who was my childhood idol, who grew up where I grew up and was a Buffalo Bill for a number of years and an Atlanta Falcon. If you don't see somebody who looks like you won't know who you could become. So me seeing that as a boy impacted my life and made me want to become uh, who he became. And now that I got there, I went beyond what he did as a player, and I hope the next kid that comes from where I come from goes beyond me. But you got to give kids a target. You got to give them a chance to dream. You got to give them a chance to diligently work through the processes that come along with calling yourself a professional in whatever you do, whether it be athletics, education, literacy, financial services, whatever it is you decide to do. You got to see people that look like you doing it, and you got to find somebody that you can identify with to give you that target. And if you do that, man, the rest is history. And that's what I was able to do as a kid. And that's why that Pro Football Hall of Fame thing and that gold jacket means so much to me.
I appreciate that, and as I said earlier, I love the fact that you've used your platform and your brand and your success to touch so many lives and to give kids that message. I love that, and I commend you again for that. I was
Thank you so much.
I was curious. You mentioned Bill Belichick just as an aside. Um, can you believe nobody hired him this past off season?
I can't believe that. And it's probably because he wants to make sure he takes the perfect job. I think at this point in his life, he has the ability to do that now. He can pick and choose where he wants to work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, There are about 31 guys around the league that are that knowing that this guy is out there lingering,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and has the chance to break Don Schuler's record. The next place he goes to
Mm-hmm.
work, I think he has 302 wins. I think Coach Schuler has 328, so he needs 329 to pass the Don Schuler's record. So wherever he goes, he's definitely going to do that.
Yeah, one of those guys is sitting in an office in East Rutherford these days too. So one of those guys who might be looking over his shoulder.
That's what I hear. I don't
Uh,
know.
you never know. I'm just curious before I let you go. Do you get around this current group of guys? Do you get around this current team very much? And what do you think of the current Giants and the direction of this group?
I would love to be around them more. Um, um, I would love to spend more time, especially with the kids that play up front. Um, um, I think Dexter Lawrence is going to be a phenomenal player if he can stay healthy, keep his weight down, and play at a certain pad level throughout the course of the season. I think he's going to become a monstrous player, and he's turning into that now. I think the more talent you surround him with and give him guys to play with, like I had guys to play with as a Giant, uh, I think will help him improve and be an even greater player. Um, I'm dying to see what happens to us on the offensive line. I think we had an unhealthy Justin Pugh last year who came to us in midseason. I think he's now a free agent. I'd like to see a healthy Justin Pugh, maybe perhaps return and work for the Giants, or see some kids that can compete and play at a high level on the offensive line side of the ball.
You got any
I
former
think it's
teammates who can still block?
no, I mean, I tell you, there's one on Long Island I know that probably could play. His name is John Jumbo Elliott.
Oh,
Um,
geez.
um, that kid and I had some great times together as players and teammates. And today we have the greatest relationship. I love him to death. All those guys I love to death. But between he and William Roberts, I think they both could still go out there and suit up, even in their mid to late 50s, early 60s. Uh, today's football player is interesting, Ed, because the game has changed, and I guess the physicality of the game has changed. You know, we had 2-a-day practices with pads, and we went out there and tried to kill each other in training camp. And by the time the season happened, guys were shot. Some of them were gun shy, some of them weren't. But you knew you had to take care of one another, and we found a way to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see if this team can stay healthy and get hot quick. I mean, jump to a great start, maybe 5-1, 6-1 in the first 2 months, and roll into November, ready to compete. I think you might be looking at a different ball club, but it's going to take a lot of fire early on.
Do you like the way the game has changed? I know it's you talked about the physicality, the 2-a-days. I would think that on Sundays it's hard to watch, or harder for a guy like you to watch what you see on Sunday, because it's so much of what you guys did is no longer allowed. But
Exactly.
I wonder how you feel about the structure of practice now, and the way that these guys go about their jobs. I wonder how how you feel about that, just in terms of guys staying healthy, guys you know maybe being able to come out of the game with their bodies in a little better shape.
Well, I could tell you this, that, you know, for the most part, guys coming out the game with their bodies in better shape um, is a bonus. Um, I think the physicality out of football has been taken away by the lack of contact in training camp and the lack of contact during the season. I think that athletically, um, it's somewhat the same. Guys have gotten bigger, faster, stronger. Receivers have definitely gotten bigger. The linemen have definitely gotten bigger and faster and stronger. Um, the game is just not what it was when I played. It's not as physical today. Um, um, you see more fouls and penalties called for like things that were kind of looked the other way on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look at some of the plays that Lawrence and the collisions that Lawrence and I were involved in, or Harry and I were involved in, or Harry, Lawrence, Carl, and I all were involved in. Um, Hell, we'd have probably have been giving money back to the league every week for some of the plays that we were involved in collisions.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a different ball game for sure. Do I like it? No, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it because I enjoy watching kids going out there doing and living out their dream and fulfilling their goals in life and becoming somebody of significance in their family. So kudos to that.
Well, I think that's a good place for us to wrap up, Leonard. And kudos to you for touching lives and for trying to help people and and for doing all of that. So greatly appreciate it. If you want to let people know, if they want to reach out to you, where they can find you, where they can find whatever organizations you're helping these days, go ahead and do that.
Sure. So one of the organizations I work with is Caring Kind of New York City. Caring Kind, we have an event coming up on June 3rd in New York City at Cipriano's. We deal and treat and are concerned about Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia. We raise tons of money for this, and we give the money to medical institutions to develop medicine and the likes of tools and applications to help families and those that are suffering while dealing with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia. I also work with Pike TX, piketx.com. Our CEO, Brad Miles, does a great job in terms of addressing the needs and concerns of families that are dealing with Parkinson's as we continue to develop our transdermal patch and our medication and the applications which are FDA approved. And I work at Rockefeller Capital Management of New York City, managing money and assets for the ultra wealthy and trying to teach young athletes better ways to take care of their money, take care of themselves, establish legacy wealth through financial literacy, and understanding the value of a dollar at this stage of the game in life.
Dude, are you 36 or are you 63? I mean, you can slow down.
I can't slow down. It's what I do. I can't do it. I feel like I'm going to die.
Hey, I appreciate it. And Leonard, thank you very, very much. Giants fans, I hope you've enjoyed our chat with Leonard. So thank you as always for listening. Please stay safe out there. Take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.